Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I made a video, but it's basically just because I've been really lazy, so I haven't been reading, and when I do get around to reading, I just been too lazy to actually make a video. But anyways, today I'm taking part in a book tag, and that's the Faces of Horror tag. And this is supposed to be about a discussion of how horror can make us feel, because a lot of people who are maybe not too familiar with the genre might think it's all just kind of samey and all it does is make you feel scared. But no, that's not true. Like, yeah, horror fiction can make us feel a lot of different ways. But this tag was created by Plagued by Visions, and I was tagged by the Bookubus. I'll be sure to link both their channels in the description because they just have amazing channels. Anyways, so yes, as I was saying, yeah, it's supposed to be discussing, I guess, the different types of basically, yeah, discuss how the many ways horror fiction can make us feel. And so I'm supposed to have some questions here, and then I'll just give my answers out. Hopefully, I didn't do a terrible job at explaining that. But the first question is a horror story that scared or disturbed you. Well, for this one, I decided to go with the book that disturbed me the most because of how gross it was. And just, but that'll be His Pain by Wrath James White. This book is not for someone with a weak stomach. There's a lot of extreme stuff that happens here. The stuff such as like mutilation, murder, like torture, and like weird, and also like basically some sexual acts, including some incest. So yeah, very gross to say the least. But it's about a teenager named Jason. He has a rare central nervous system disorder where every sensation he feels is pain. So like whenever he touches anything, tastes, hears, smell, or yeah, even sees anything, it's it's transferred to his brain as pain, excruciating pain at that. But his mother actually finds some guru guy who can hopefully teach Jason how to transfer these feelings of pain into something else where he can enjoy the pain, and so he preferably they'll transfer it to pleasure. So yeah, I'll just leave it there, because I can't really get into too much without spoiling stuff. And of course, if I did, I would just be talking about some really gross things. Anyways, sorry about the glare. But yeah, I would say this is a really good book if you want to get grossed out. Like there's some things in it that would just kind of like, I don't think that makes too much sense, but it's just a book if you read, if you want to get really grossed out. So that sounds like your cup of tea. You can check this out. Anyways, next question. A horror story that depressed you or made you cry. This one, it was a little. I didn't have too many choices because, to be honest, I don't think I've ever really felt that sad or depressed reading as I guess try. Yeah, I never really read too many horror books that made me cry. Actually, I don't think I've ever cried reading any book. But this one definitely made me feel the most sad, and that's Dweller by Jeff Strand. This book here is about a kid named Toby. He actually finds this guy right here in the woods, and they become best friends. Like they actually, he's able to befriend a giant Sasquatch. In this book, it's classified as horror, and yeah, I would say it fits that, but it's not really, like most books in the genre, because it's more of a coming of age tale. And the thing about, I guess also things about friendship, because this book goes through their whole lives. Like as Toby's a kid, and then goes to when he becomes a teenager, then adult, and he's still friends with Owen here. So yeah, there's some really sad, but also some really heartwarming moments in this book, and also some gory stuff too. And what else? Oh right, then of course this book. This is a kind of minor spoiler, but it's literally at the first page, so it's not too much of a spoiler. But the book, I guess, it instantly gets sad because it opens with Owen here, like he sees his parents get killed in front of him. Basically, yeah, some dudes with guns actually kill his parents in front of him, so that just, that's, I know it'd be announced like, oh, that's just really sad. Like, you feel bad for the Sasquatch. Anyways, but yeah, that's my answer for that question. A horror story that made you laugh. That's the next question. So yeah, this was again a little difficult because I was considering like, do I want to go with one that made me laugh because of like some actual funny jokes that happened in it, or maybe one that it was just so over the top that I just couldn't help but laugh at the setting, like what the book's about. But I decided to go with the latter. So, and that would be this one here. This book has I don't remember when I got this, but like ever since I read it, it's always been just like I just remember it, because also I referenced it to a lot to my friends. But this book is about basically Bigfoot, and he's addicted to meth, and I believe he's also addicted to crack and a bunch of other drugs, because you can actually see in the cover he seems to be having quite a bit of stuff going on here. But yeah, this book has him just going on a drug-fueled rampage, just killing anybody in his way, while he tries to find more drugs. And there's some pretty graphic, crazy stuff that happens here. He just like stomps people, even like rips their limbs off. But I would say the reason it made me laugh again is because come on, look, it's about a methed up Bigfoot going on a rampage, and there's also some things that happen here just kind of like they're so outrageous, you just can't take it seriously. Like not just the Bigfoot, but like some other stuff. Because this book doesn't really take itself seriously like at all. Okay, so that's my answer for this one. And also I just kind of realized, two of my answers were about Sasquatches, or whatever. Anyways, the next question is a horror story that made you angry. And this one, I couldn't think of too many answers, because I haven't read too many books that actually made me feel angry. But I went with this one just because of how poorly written it was and how abrupt the ending was. And that would be All Hallows Eve by Richard Lehman. Usually Lehman, yeah, I know he how you say it's like, I mean, he always has like a lot of his books are just really fun, even though they were like really crazy and like both sides stupid. They're really fun, but this one was just poorly written. It has plot holes, inconsistencies, some just really like basically there's a kill in this book, and his plan somehow just worked perfectly. It was sort of perfectly, but it's kind of like there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of like, okay, that kill got really lucky that everyone decided to go there, because basically there's this big party that's gonna happen, and there's like the book builds up this party for quite a while, and you think it's gonna be some big crazy like massacre kind of thing, but it's not that interesting, because it's basically just this dude who's a killer. He's just shooting people with a gun, and then when there's literally a couple pages left, oh, by the way, yeah, this whole like party thing happens in the last 20 pages. I may have always said that, but yeah, but then during like the last like 3 pages, he basically gets stabbed by somebody. And then you turn the next page and just has an epilogue, and it was just saying like, oh, he apparently died on the operating table, and they just explain what happened to some other characters, and they also bring up a few plot holes, because they also mention the fact that like, oh, this killer, he was in prison before, but then it's kind of like, wait, earlier in the book, the killer, he was saying that he was never caught, and also there's other people saying that this killer was never caught. So yeah, this book is it kind of just made me a little angry, because again, for one, it just had all this build up to this big party, and it was just really disappointing, because it was just, not too much happened there, and then it just ends so abruptly. I was convinced that my copy was missing a few pages, or maybe I accidentally skipped over a few pages, so yeah, maybe not the best answer, but that's the book. That's the only horror book I can think of that actually made me angry. I mean, there's ones I guess maybe feel kind of angry when I was just reading them. I'm just like, oh, these characters are so unlikable. But I don't know. This is the first one that came to mind. Anyways, a horror story that is most important to you. This one was a little tough for me, because I had 2 answers. One was Hell House by Richard Masson. That one is just, it's my favorite horror book ever. So that one's really important to me. But then I kind of thought, like, actually, I think my answer would be Kerry by Stephen King. I'm pretty sure everyone's already read this or at least seen one of the movies. But yeah, this book is most important to me because it's actually, I think it's the oldest, like one of the first horror books I've ever read. Maybe the first, unless you count Goosebumps. Because I remember when I stopped reading like kids' books, I took a long break from reading, and then I decided to read this. And this is my sister's copy, so I know I borrowed it from her. And I read it and I just really enjoyed it. And then I remember, her and I, we went and bought a bunch of Stephen King books, and then eventually I just started like buying my own books. And I think one of the first ones I remember reading, I grew up, one of the first horror books I remember buying after that Stephen King order my sister and I got was Hell House. So I would say, this is probably what started me reading horror fiction out, after I stopped reading Goosebumps and other kids kind of books. Okay, now the last question is a non-horror story that you consider horror. This one was also difficult for me because I always read, a lot of times when I read books, they're just either horror or they're just like sci-fi or fantasy where there's like basically no horror aspects to it. So I wasn't sure which one to put. I was either considering Jaws or this one is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, I think that's how you say his name. I decided to go with Jurassic Park because I feel more like Jaws is a thriller. While this one, I know it's more of a thriller, but I feel like it has a little bit more horror aspects to it. And plus, also, I would just say that this is just a better book, too. Again, maybe not the best answer, but it's like, again, I don't have too many books I've read that, like a non-horror book that I can actually consider horror, because keep on this one, like the book, unlike the movie, it's a lot more graphic, and there's also, I guess a little bit more suspenseful with like some of the things, like when, the dinosaurs are killing people. So that's the last question, so I guess that's all of my answers. So hopefully this list wasn't too crappy, because some of my answers were a little weird. Also, like I said, 2 of them were like Sasquatch stuff. But anyways, so I guess that wraps things up. But I'm not gonna tag anyone in particular, but if you see this video and you decide to make your own video and take part in this book tag, then feel free to do so. Just let me know in the comments if you do, and I would love to see your pics. And so I guess that's it. So I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully I won't be gone for so long again. So take care.